everybody, and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Safari Sunrise Tournament. This is with various type of wins. This win will not be the win that we do have in the tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. Last but not least, you can get the best guides on the market for tour and tournament play by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link in the description down below. Here, for this playthrough, follow the info box on the right hand side. I will relate to that when I'm discussing and talking about the hole that we are playing. Elevation for the drive and the second shot. Also what type of ball and club that I think is going to be the best ones to play with for that specific hole. Make sure when it comes to that catcher reserve to really be focused, especially on the par 5s. Those are long and those are tough. The par 4s is really good opportunities, all of them. And then the par 3, somewhere in between. In the end though, let's have some fun and make sure you comment if you do have any questions and also hit thumbs up. Let's go to hole number 1. So let's take a look, and we're gonna start with the drive, playing with a Marlin ball. Here you can play with a ball with more power if you want to, but I think there is value in using the quarterback, bounce on the fairway over to the next fairway, because the thing with the quarterback is that you do have a good accuracy, you also have a good ball guideline, which will help you tremendously, especially if you do hit great left or great right. We adjust for 10% over adjustment, and we're going to adjust for maximum distance of our club. Even though we're not in maximum distance, that is what we're going to do. 3 bars of topspin, 2.5 bar of side spin to the right, and we're going to get ourselves down to 287 yards. Second shot is going to be with the long iron that gives you the best accuracy and ball guide. That's why I suggest the backbone in the info box, because I feel the backbone is going to be better than the Goliath in a situation like this. But if you do get with another, what can I say? With the Goliath here instead of the backbone, it's not the end of the world. You can still adjust for the pin using 1 to 3 bars of backspin depending on what type of wind direction you're having. And then we're going to adjust with a 10% over adjustment here as well. And the 10% over adjustment is going to be applied on either minimum, medium or maximum, depending on how close you are towards the pin. And obviously it's always nice on a par 4 to grab an eagle. So let's start with the drive, and we're gonna play with a power 3 ball. And we're playing this one with 2 bars of topspin and max right side spin, which is 4.5 bar. I would recommend here though, however, to go with a little bit more topspin as we do change to. So 2.5 bar topspin is gonna be perfect. That if you're gonna use more topspin, you're gonna risk rolling into the rough and the sand at the top. So really be careful with the topspin amount that you're using. 10% over adjustment, and we're going to apply a half a ball of curl to the right. And the thing that we can do here to prevent us from having to go with the curl, or at least going with as much curl, is to use a side spin 3 ball. That could be a katana, but most especially a kingmaker, because the power 3 ball is going to be super valuable when it comes to the second shot especially. And the second shot is not going to be easy, because we're playing it 20% over adjustment, and you can see that even with the big dog level 6, we are in the maximum distance of our club. And the more we are pushing our club down into that downhill slope on the fairway, you can see that the bounce is going to be shorter, which means that, you know, if we use too much backspin, we're going to fall super short and go into the bunker and have a massive problem. In my opinion, this hole 2 is going to be an eagle hole purely. Like, sure, we could maybe get an albatross here or 2, but it's not gonna be anything that we're gonna do, you know, generally. So I'm getting my ball down to the green, taking my eagle, and actually are satisfied by that, and then go to the next one. So let's take a look at hole number 3, and you can see that I play with the Viper instead of the Sniper as suggested in the info box. But I wanted to add the Sniper there to really push on the fact that we are going to play with the Sniper if we do have it in level 4+. I'm playing 1.5 bar backspin and 4.5 bar side spin to the right with the Quasar ball. Here also once again playing with a different type of ball would be very beneficial, as we are going to have to play very close to the rough line and the sand to the right if using a side spin 2 ball. So to prevent that from being that close, we use a side spin 3 ball, which in this case could be a Katana. And the Katana then would help us way more than what the Quasar would do. Now we hit perfect and it's not the end of the world. You can see that the pin stands very close to the fringe, and you're gonna many of the times roll into the fringe, as we do need, you know, at least have the speed for the ball to come down onto the green and roll down towards the pin. Make sure though that you do have a couple of side backspin bars to use, as for the green slopes downhill, and you know, if you come way too hot then you're obviously gonna roll into the rough. Tough par 3, but definitely manageable. 10% over adjustment, and we play medium distance numbers. So let's start with the drive here, and we're playing with a Marlin ball, and we're playing in max distance of our club. 4.5 bar topspin and 2.5 bar side spin to the left. And the only focus for us here is the ball guideline. We do want the ball guideline to show that we are going straight down the fairway, straight down the middle in between the rough on the left and the rough on the right. No elevation for the drive whatsoever. We're just gonna play it as it is, and we're gonna bounce it on the fairway and roll as far as possible here. If we do have a straight tailwind, like an absolute dead-on straight tailwind, and we do play with clubs that gives us minimum 6 bars of topspin, you can use a power 5 ball and try to go for green. Second shot is going to be with our short iron. It's either going to be with the Thorn or with the Hornet, in my opinion, especially if you do have like any of them unlocked. Otherwise, you obviously go with the one that you feel the most comfortable with. Now we're going to measure how far we are in club distance, and I judge this one to be approximately 75% of my club. And now I'm using backspins. I'm using 4 bars of backspin, aiming for the hole. This type of play also speaks towards the Thorn instead of the Hornet, as the Hornet doesn't have that much backspin in a lower level. We adjust without using any elevation whatsoever, and you can see here also that we're not shooting downhill at all. Perfect ball, we bounce on the fairway, and we get this one right at pin for a nice little eagle. This is, in my opinion, the one of the catcher reserve that is the best chance to get something extra to drop, meaning that we do get an eagle instead of a birdie. So make sure that you are focused and you pick the right club and look at the elevation, and then you're gonna do well. So let's take a look at hole number 5, and we're going to use a power 0 ball. And you can see that I'm using half a bar of backspin. In my opinion here, we should be using 1 bar of backspin instead. And the reason we're going to use 1 bar of backspin is due to the fact that we will have an extended ball guideline due to the tailwind. So therefore you're going to see a much longer first bounce, and therefore we're going to catch this little glitch that is pretty common on this hole. And so the reason we roll this far is not because we are using it's not because we're using too little backspin in general. It's because that the ball takes this little slope on the start of the green and basically gets shot through a cannon. And I think it's a very valuable thing to have in mind, and that is possible to happen on this hole. But the backspin to use in tailwind, you're going to use 1 bar of backspin, and you're going to then be fine. And you're going to have a good chance making an hole 1. 10% over adjustment, and we play medium distance numbers, as we are medium distance of our club. Choose the backbone for more accuracy and a better ball guideline. We start off with the drive, and here we're gonna go over the rough and the sand. with a crosswind, with a tailwind. That's what we're gonna do. And the reason we're gonna do that is due to the fact that we are going to struggle otherwise on this hole. Giving headwind on this one, we have to curl and bounce over the rough, which is going to be, in my opinion, almost impossible if you don't have superior clubs, meaning you do have an Apocalypse level 4 plus, or yeah, especially Apocalypse level 4 plus, or maybe the Rock level 8 or level 9. So it's going to be very important to just get that ball over. I'm going to take that one again as it went a little quick. Use side spin. I would like you to use 4 to 7 bars of side spin to the right, and also to use 2 bars of top spin. You don't have to go without top spin as I'm using here, because the thing that I was afraid of is the bunker at the top. But we can use 2 bars of top spin and get ourselves a little bit closer, and therefore have a much better chance for the second shot. For the second shot, we're going to play without elevation, and now we're going to play directly at pin, obviously. Have in mind that after the pin, the ball rolls pretty fast, and therefore we rather want to go short than long, but obviously we do want to give ourselves a chance for the pin. So make sure to aim directly at the hole using 2 to 4 bars of backspin, depending on what the situation needs. Because the backspin is going to be different depending on how far you are from the pin. So no elevation for the second shot. We do adjust, and then we're gonna take our shot, which is in this case going to be a great right, and therefore we're gonna miss to the right. You can also see that the ball is gonna come in pretty hot, and you see that when it rolls, it's gonna roll down, and it's gonna roll down towards the fringe. I do suggest the Titan ball in the info box, and that is to prevent us from having a struggle in crosswind. So with a crosswind power 3 ball tailwind, we can do with a power 2 ball if you do want to save your power 3 balls. With a headwind, you cannot reach over the rough and the sand, and then we will have to play on the left, which once again is gonna be extremely difficult. So hole number 7 is a difficult hole, and here we're going to play over the bunker. Sure, the result here might not be, you know, the best one ever, but you're gonna know what we are looking for. So first and foremost, we are going to have to add spin, and that's what we're gonna start with doing. I'm using 1 bar backspin, I'm using 2.5 bar side spin to the right, aiming for the top right corner of the fairway. Now we're going to adjust maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, and you are going to notice that we shouldn't have used that much side spin, because the side spin here is going to kick us to the right, so we could have reduced and played it 1.5 bar side spin. But also when we play with the Goliath, hitting great is going to be having a big effect as for the bad accuracy that club is having. So therefore choose the backbone, which is going to have a better accuracy and also generally a better ball guideline, and therefore you can also then compensate more for a great ball to the left or to the right. Because once again, with the Goliath, a great ball is not going to be helpful, and that's going to be more risky. Tough par 3 where I'm not expecting a hole-in-one at all, and you know, if we get it, massive bonus. Get it close, take an easy putt for a birdie, and then be done with it. So we start off with the drive, and the drive is going to be with a quarterback here, and the reason I'm looking at the quarterback is due to the fact that we do then have curl and can come in from left to right on the fairway. 3 top spin, max right side spin, and then we're going to aim close to the rough line on the right. Give yourself a little bit more room than what I'm doing here, and then give yourself at least the blue ring by the rough line. Also, put yourself into max distance. You don't have the back down there. And last but not least, you're using 75% of the ball outside adjustment ring to the right. And we're playing it 10% over adjustment. So it's either maximum distance if you are in maximum distance, medium distance if you are in medium distance, and so forth. One thing that I want us to just take a quick look at here with the drive is that, let's say that we do have this type of wind. In the end, this would be better to use an extra mile, use a power 3 ball, try to go for green. That will require obviously using a little overpower, but that will be a better shot if that wind is what it is. So crosswind, tailwind, we try to go for green. In a headwind, we use the quarterback still and lay up short. We go for the second shot, and this is obviously based on laying up as we did with the quarterback. And now we're gonna have the thorn or the hornet towards the pin. Me personally, I would like to play with the thorn, as that is the club that I feel the most comfortable with. But if you feel comfortable with another club, then play with that one. Make sure that with a short iron with not more than 4 points, with less than 4.0 in ball guideline, we need to leave the ball guideline short. Otherwise we will come in hot, as you know, the ball guideline will fool us that, you know, when it's not fully developed. Here with the thorn level 4, we obviously need to leave it short. We adjust for a 10% over adjustment, as we're playing it slightly downhill. The ball bounces and it comes in very nicely towards the pin. We just missed that one to the right, but in the end a very good chance for an eagle. One thing that, once again, to summarize this one, I want you to have in mind, tailwind or crosswind, we go for green. Use a power 3 ball, otherwise we lay up. And obviously if you don't feel comfortable going for green, then don't go for green, but you're gonna definitely lose more games, or you're gonna have a disadvantage to your opponent if you're not trying to go for green with that type of wind. So let's take a look at the drive here. We can choose to either go left side and just have a, you know, a straightforward drive, trying to get as far down possible, or we go to the right. In this example, we're gonna go to the right, but I'm gonna explain and talk a little bit about the left side as well, as I do think personally that's a line that we should be taking more often than the right one. 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the right, and we do want to gain as much distance possible on the fairway on the right, and also then to be as close to the green as possible. Getting it down the fairway here, and it's going to roll, and sure, we could have gained, you know, at least 20 yards extra distance here, and that would obviously been helpful. Second shot is going to be with the big dog, which is going to be a must, as we do need distance both when using a power ball but also using the club that do have the most distance possible, which is once again the big dog. We stretch out to visualize where we do want the second bounce to be, but now we need to have in mind that this is a little bit too far, you know, too close to the rough line with the second bounce. Not that we are endangering clipping the rough, but we're not going to have the distance towards the pin. No elevation for the second shot, 10% for the drive. The thing that I once again want to go back to is the left side. If you play left side, you go straight down, you would use max overpower, trying to gain as much distance possible. And then from there, we're going to have a rough bump towards the pin, which is going to be tricky. But in the end, if you do want to get an albatross, I do believe the left side, even though it's a bit more aggressive, is going to be the better way to play hole number 9. But if you're looking for just a purely and safe eagle without any type of, you know, overpower and stuff like that, then we go right side, take the eagle, and be done with it. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various type of wins. Make sure that you do hit thumbs up before you leave the video here, and also comment in the comment section below if you do have any questions. You can always get in contact with us by going to golfclashtommy.com and go to the contact form, and then you will then receive an answer from us as soon as possible. We will be there to help you out with whatever is with your game, so make sure that you don't miss out on that opportunity. Also, patreon.com/golfclashtommy for the best tournament and tour text guides on the market. Once again everyone, thank you so much for watching. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and a big good luck in the Safari Sunrise tournament.